afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wally Rada. I'll be your host for Biztalk 62. We're going to talk about exploring the unexplored in business. Believe it or not, many businesses continue to fail because they overlook exploring the obvious and the unexplored. To too many of them, they think they know everything, but they forget to touch on some of the most important elements to be successful in business. And that goes most commonly for small to medium enterprise and for small companies who are not multinational companies. I look forward to talking to you all, and it's nice to see some regular faces. Nice to see Miss Amal back. It's nice to see a lot of you back. Thank you for joining me today. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the unexplored? Can anyone here tell me what is something about business that you think businesses forget to explore today? Can anybody put up their hands and share with me your idea of exploring the unexplored? I know a lot of you have ideas. Who can tell me or give me one of them? How about we start with Asa? Asa Bagu, good evening, ma'am. Could you unmute your microphone for me, Asa? Talk to me. Good afternoon. How are you today? Hi, Asa. Are you there, Asa? Would you like to unmute your microphone, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Asa. How are you today?
Good, sir.
Tell me, Asa, from your experience so far as a customer, what do you think is something that businesses always forget? What is something that businesses fail to do? Can you give me any idea?
Again, sir, please repeat.
Okay, so you are a customer, right? You go out and
Yes.
buy things all the time. So based on your experience, what's something that a lot of companies or businesses forget? Can you give me an example of anything that you've realized that businesses forget?
Forget like
Try, don't be shy. You're here to learn. Give me your idea. What else? What do you think? Service? They fail on service. Their prices are not competitive. What else? Give me some more ideas.
yeah, like services not it's built, and the people also is not satisfied.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you again, Asa. Let's talk to one of the other students. Let's talk to Amal. Amal, good evening. Amal, how are you today? Unmute your microphone, young lady. It's so good to see you again. Amal, tell me. Thank you. Tell me something that you've picked up in your years as a consumer about things that businesses seem to avoid or ignore when dealing with their customers.
Understanding.
Thank you very much, Amal. That's a big word. Thank you. I'll talk about that shortly. Thank you. Can anybody else share with me ideas about some things that businesses seem to ignore or avoid when you are a consumer? I need somebody here to share some ideas with me. I seem to be having all women. Where are all the men today? Mr. Vilu. Hi, Vilu. How are you today? Open your microphone for me, Vilu. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Vilu, tell me from your experience as a wise man, what are some things that you've noticed that businesses seem to avoid or ignore when dealing with their customer, whether they're providing products or services, sir?
They didn't give the in correct time the
Right, so
products.
they're not able to meet deadlines. They're not able to deliver services on time. Is that what you're saying?
Time and on time. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you again shortly. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you've all told me is absolutely correct. Businesses today seem to ignore a lot of simple things that we as consumers would expect them to know, because after all, they are running a business and we all expect them to know certain things. And that is a problem with a lot of businesses today. And we're going to explore the unexplored in business. And I want you all not to worry about memorizing this, because starting from this Biztalk, on Monday morning after each Biztalk, you will receive this PowerPoint deck at your email address, and you will also be able to watch this video at our YouTube channel, The Apex Stories. So focus on what I'm saying and focus on the lesson. Okay, here we go. So exploring the unexplored. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by exploring the unexplored? Unfortunately, today, more than ever, businesses have forgotten about their core business, their bread and butter. If we talk about bread and butter in simple English, as human beings, we need to eat. As human beings, we need to breathe. As human beings, we need to have shelter to live in. And for businesses, they seem to forget the basics. And what are those basics? The first basic is they forget to examine the market they're operating in closely. A lot of businesses seem to assume, especially small and medium enterprise businesses, businesses that people run from home, where you assume that you know. You know, there is a common saying that academics like me use: to assume is to be an ass. Because if you assume, you're operating without facts. No business can operate successfully without facts. So a lot of businesses today take it for granted. I sell coffee, so my coffee's good. I don't have to do any market research. Starbucks are selling coffee. A lot of businesses fail to become experts in their field. It's no point just opening another business and selling coffee that Starbucks sells. It's no point opening another shop and selling the same goods that your competitors are selling, because what you're doing is trying to capture a piece of their market. And to do that, you may have to slash prices and become competitive. The idea about going into business is exploring the unexplored, being able to understand what is missing in that market. Unfortunately, many businesses today fail to do that. Many businesses today fail to find a niche in their market. Can anybody here tell me what is a niche? A niche is something unique. A niche is something that is unique. Let me go to Raquel. Raquel, good afternoon, Raquel. Can you give me an example of something that's niche? Go ahead, Raquel.
Yeah, hi sir, good afternoon.
Hi, can you speak
Based on
up?
my experience, yeah, I did.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Of course I can. Go ahead.
based on I used to work in the perfumery niche, which I understood that it's a kind of a product or a perfume that we are selling, that we are the only one who is selling, that you cannot find it outside the shop or outside the market, that we only provide it by our company.
Good, excellent. Thank you very much. Raquel, can you give me a business that you go to on a regular occasion that is niche? Give me an idea, any shop or any business.
Yeah, perfume,
Yeah, okay.
perfumery.
Why is it
Yeah.
niche?
Yeah, we do have specific brand that we are only selling. You cannot find it outside the market. Like
Very
we
good.
are
That's
only
an
providing.
excellent
Yeah.
example. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Raquel. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, a niche market is something that no one else offers. Let me give you an example of a niche market. Has everybody heard of Emirates Airlines? Everybody's heard of Virgin Atlantic Airlines. They became niche because they took the level of passenger experience one step higher. They were the first two airlines in the world to offer their customers either Mercedes, Volvo, or Rolls-Royce transfer from their home or hotel to the airport on departure and on arrival. And they started by offering that firstly to first class premium passengers, and then brought that all the way down to business class. So now, why are all the other airlines copying the market leaders, the people who made first or business class a more superior product for regular or first time business class or first class passengers? These passengers say on a regular basis pay 40% more than an economy passenger, and a first class passenger pays up to 70% more than an economy passenger to fly. So now when they fly Virgin Atlantic, they have a Rolls Royce with a chauffeur pick them up from their hotel or home and take them to the airport, and they have another limousine or Rolls Royce pick them up from the airport and deliver them back to the hotel in the country they're traveling to. That makes it a niche service. No one else offers Rolls-Royce. For Emirates, they offer Volvo or Mercedes. They were the first airline in the world to do it. So they offer a niche product compared to all the other airlines in their region. If you go to a hairdressing salon, ladies and gentlemen, and they offer you the service of being able to take your picture using a special video screen and see yourself with different hairstyles before you ask your hairstylist to give you a new hairstyle, that's a niche product. Because a lot of local hair salons, whether in Malaysia, India, Manila, the local common hair salons don't offer that niche service. So you don't know what you're going to look like with a new hairstyle or with a new hair color. But if the hair salon wants to be niche, what they would do is offer the technology like some of the big Korean brands do. Okay, if you have a tailor shop where you make dresses or suits, if your customer can look in a camera using artificial intelligence and see themselves wearing a suit before you make it, that is a niche service or a niche product. That is something that will take the business to the next level. And a lot of businesses fail to explore this because they simply think it's no problems. Starbucks are doing it. I'll just open another coffee shop. I'll sell black coffee or cappuccino just like Starbucks do. That's where they fail. A lot of businesses, especially in the Philippines and other countries, only accept cash. Some businesses won't take credit card because they have to pay a commission. Some businesses deliberately won't take ATM card payment or credit card because they're street businesses. Again, they are not exploring the unexplored, because even if you sell nasi lemak or fried rice or noodles on the streets of Manila or in Vietnam or even in India, you can still have electronic payment where customers can scan a barcode that you have displayed on your stall and pay you through their mobile phone. And that way you're taking payments other than cash and you capture a new market. But a lot of small businesses don't think of this. They think, well, if I need a credit card machine, that costs me money. But they failed to explore that now. Credit card is not the only form of payment. You have Alibaba Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay. You can simply show a barcode, a QR code on your stall, print it out and show it. All the customer has to do is scan it with their mobile phone. Instantly, cash will be transferred from their account to yours. It's as good as a cash sale. But businesses don't explore this. And a lot of businesses take it for granted. I know one student here recently who took it for granted and went into business without asking some serious questions and found out that they failed. They failed and got ripped off. Why? Because they started a business without asking enough questions and digging into details before they go down that business path. Ladies and gentlemen, business is not about closing your eyes and taking a step forward. Business is about closing your eyes, thinking of all the possible options and alternatives before you open your eyes and take a step forward. No matter whether you work for a business or you're starting your own business. Many companies want to be customer-centric, many of them all over the world. But the key question is, for many of these companies, who actually is your customer? Can anybody answer me? Does anybody know who their true customer is? Who would like to try to answer my question? Raquel, would you like to try? Okay, let's try somebody else. Iris Bridget, nice to see you. Tell me, Iris, who do you think are your real customers and what sort of business are you talking about? Go ahead.
Okay, and so as I'm a spiritual person, I have a consulting business with tarot and with astrology. And certainly for me, I know that the type of customers coming from different places. There's some curious people, there's some people who are seeking help, with the most of them, the desperate category, and then there are some spiritual people who are usually want consultation.
Okay, thank you for your
So
input.
my
You're
group
on the
is
right track.
limited.
You're on the right track.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, Iris, do you think they are your only customers? Do you think you're missing any?
No, the group is very varied. It could be also in future. It could be people when I can. I want to study psychology. If I manage to do that in future,
Okay.
you
Well,
know,
let
I
me
need
tell
to
you,
go
Iris.
at then I
Okay,
need
let me tell you. Go on. That's okay. Yeah, go on. But let me tell you, Iris, just based on my background as a consultant for 30 years, and based on what you told me, there is a big market of customers that you have unexplored. All right. And hopefully by today's session, you will learn about other customer bases that you might want to explore. All right. Because remember, when people look to consultants, they need something, right? But what you're failing to recognize is a lot of people don't understand what they need. So you have to make them aware of that. And the people who don't contact you because they don't understand that they need you, they are also a customer that you're avoiding. Do you understand? They're unexplored. You follow where I'm coming from, Iris?
Yeah.
All right.
The marketing, it has a big potential still. Of
Good.
course.
Excellent. Okay, good. I'll talk to you again. Thank you, Iris. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a big market segment out there that is unexplored. All right. But businesses say to you, we know our market. I've been selling char kway chow. I've been selling orange juice for 10 years. I know my customers, the people who buy from me. But do they really know who their customers are? Do they really know who their customers could be in the future? They don't. Okay. This is a common problem that businesses all over the world face. It's the biggest unavoided, unexplored, okay? It is the biggest avoided capture or the biggest avoided corner in any business success. Actually exploring the unexplored is the biggest area where businesses fail. All right. If I ask you who actually is your customer, 99% of the time, you will not answer the question completely. And that happens to a lot of businesses. So let's talk about the answer, and hopefully this will help you. This seemingly simple question is less trivial than it seems. A lot of people, if you say, who is your customer? They say, oh, the old lady that comes to my shop every day. If I ask the man at the fried rice stall, who is your customer? The people that want to eat fried rice. Okay, so all of these are sometimes not a matter of the fact that they are not doing it. It's a fact that a lot of business people don't know that they're not doing it. They think it's common sense, or it comes, you know, I don't need to worry about it. If people want to buy from me, they'll buy from me. I know who my customers are, but the fact is they don't. And that's why sometimes businesses fail. It takes months to find a customer, seconds to lose one. My co-host, somebody is drawing pictures on my screen. Could you fix that, please, Mr. Amala? Somebody is drawing red lines on my screen. Thank you. It takes months to find a customer, but it takes seconds to lose them. Okay, now let's ask ourselves, if I have a business and a customer comes to my shop, okay, how long does it take me to keep them? How long does it take me to lose them? I can lose a customer in seconds, but it can take me months to earn their loyalty and keep them as a regular customer. Would you agree with that, Raquel? Would you agree with that statement, Raquel? Can you unmute your microphone for me again, Raquel? Do you agree
sir.
with this statement?
Yes, I agree 100%.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the next slide. Interesting facts about exploring the unexplored. In business, there are no traffic jams along the way. So therefore, you cannot say to me it costs money to go looking for new customers, or it costs money to provide better customer service, or it costs money to be niche. Unfortunately, if that is your idea of doing business, you will fail. There are no traffic jams along that extra mile. For you to be successful in today's 22nd century economy, all right, you need to basically go the extra mile. Satisfaction is a rating. Loyalty is a brand. You can have satisfied customers who one day stop coming back because your prices are too high. But loyalty is a brand. If people are loyal to you, they come back to you no matter how much the product or service costs. Let me give you a simple example, ladies. If you go to your local Filipino hairdressing shop, your haircut might cost you 30 peso. But if you go to an upmarket Filipino, Korean, or Hong Kong salon or European salon that's open in the Philippines in a shopping mall, the same service might cost you 500 peso or 1,000 peso, or if you're in Thailand, baht. Okay, so there is a difference in the cost, and there is a difference between satisfaction and loyalty. A customer who's loyal will keep coming back and pay 1,000 peso every month. But if a customer is simply satisfied that you did a good job today, he is not loyal to the brand. And next week, when a new place opens up next door and charges 50 peso less than you, that customer who was only just satisfied will go to the cheaper business because they are not loyal to the brand. They're simply satisfied with the service you provided them today. The other interesting fact is, do what you do well, that they will want to see it again and bring their friends. Can anybody give me an example between two businesses that do the same thing, but one of them does it well and one of them doesn't? Who can give me an example? Can anybody here share an example with me? Let's talk about it. Who can share an example of two businesses that provide the same service? One does it well and one doesn't. Who can give me an example? Anyone? Put up your hand if you can. I'd love to talk to you. Come on, guys, put up your hand. Anyone? Don't be shy. Amal, give me an example. Okay, we've got one. Amy Kusi, good afternoon, ma'am. Talk to me. Hi, Amy.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Amy, give me an example of two businesses, one that does it very well and one that doesn't, and explain why.
For me, it's like the coffee shop, the normal coffee shop, and then the Starbucks coffee shop. Why they got this thing? Because if it is Starbucks, it means they treat their customer very well. They have Wi-Fi, and then they can enjoy their coffee while they're having a phone call or anything. But in the small coffee shop, they don't have like this. So they treat less their customer, and then the Starbucks, they treat very well. Why? Because they want them to satisfy, and they want to earn their loyalty from their customer.
Thank you very much. Amy, what is something that Starbucks promotes to get customers? They promote themselves as a trendy place where you can sit there, drink coffee. Every coffee is an experience. You can enjoy it with your friends, right? That's the Starbucks
Yes,
brand.
and then the ambience of their ambience of their place. They always have the nice ambience, and they always have a quiet place, and then they have for the friendly place. You know what I mean? They have the area that you can sit and calm yourself. Unlike
And
the small shop.
they always provide free Wi-Fi at most of their stores around the world. Would you agree
Yes,
with
of
me?
course.
But
Yes.
your coffee shop
Yes.
won't provide that. And a lot of businesses think by opening a coffee shop and selling coffee, they're providing the same level of niche experience, but they're not. So do you all understand what Amy just explained? There is a difference between just satisfying someone and selling them a cheap cup of coffee, or selling a cup of coffee for 2 pesos more, or 10 pesos more, or 10 ringgit more, or 10 baht more. But the difference is you're not delivering just a product. You're delivering an experience and a niche. What is the niche about Starbucks? Their coffee beans are roasted all over the world. The taste of their ice blended drinks is unique. And they offer you an experience where you can go into their store, get points, come back and use those points. You can sit there and drink coffee, and every visit is an experience. They give you free internet. They don't kick you out. You can take an hour to drink your coffee. Thank you, Amy, for sharing that with us. Okay, who else would like to share an example with me? Can anybody else share an example? Let's go to Abdurrahman Saeed Muhammad. Go ahead, sir. Can you unmute your microphone? Abdurrahman? Go ahead, Abdurrahman. Give me an example of two businesses, one that does it very well and one that doesn't. Go ahead, sir.
The difference may be first the customer relationship and also the value of the products. The business with that attracts new customers and retains all the customers will do well, and also the value of the product will be will make the business more profitable and will get more customers every day or during the daily business.
Good. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Thank you. That was a good example. Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you again. Okay, let's talk to the next person. Donkwave Gideon, can you unmute your microphone, sir? Share your example with me. Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Share your example with me.
For example, if you have two different water companies.
Yes, sir.
If you have two different water companies supplying water supply. And then
right. And what is it? How can you tell one better than the other? Go ahead.
Yeah. One is able to supply water 24/7.
Right.
And then the quality of the water is so good.
Yes.
That even in the midnight, anytime you wake up, you can get water. And other one keeps getting short of water at some point in time. Then the one that is able to supply 24/7 stands a higher advantage with quality water.
All right. And can I ask you, do you agree that if you provide a higher quality, you will build loyalty quicker?
Very well. With constant supply.
Okay. Tell me, do you think it's easier to build loyalty, or is it easier to lose customers? Which one is easier?
It is easier to lose customers.
Thank you very much. You're on the right track. Thank you, sir. Yeah. I'll talk to you again. Okay, let's go on. I've got more hands going up. I'd like to talk to all of you, but I need to get through the session. So let me talk to one more person, then we'll move on. Eugen, go ahead, Eugen. Are you there, sir? Go ahead, Eugen.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Give me an example of two businesses.
Okay, I want to illustrate this niche with automobile industry and electric car.
Yes.
Between Tesla and petroleum car.
Right.
For example.
So where do you think Tesla has an advantage over a normal petrol operated car?
The thing is that Tesla is environmentally friendly, and Tesla does not have negative impact over environment or the nature. So that's why Tesla is doing good now. So
excellent.
I mean, in future, electric car will take over the automobile industry.
Good on you. Good stuff, Eugen. You're doing well. All right. Can I ask you, Eugen, do you think that the people who buy an electrical car, if their electrical car keeps breaking down, will they become loyal, or will they simply sell the car and go back to petrol operated? What do you think they're looking for when they buy an electrical car?
I mean, they will try to develop the electric car in more advanced way that that will have to shut down the automobile, petroleum industries, because the petroleum industry, at the end of the day, petroleum industry has negative impact over the world. So we have to get on with this one. That's
But
why.
let me tell you, do you understand where Tesla is losing market share? Tesla is gaining market share in countries that have electrical recharge stations. But in countries
Yes.
where the government is not so rich and there is no electrical recharging stations, Tesla is losing market share, right? So Tesla
Yes.
today is at a turnaround. They have to decide, do they invest in building electrical power distribution stations for cars to recharge their cars in every country and encourage people to use these by buying a Tesla car? Or does Tesla rely on the government and different petrol stations to implement that service? And this is a turning point for Tesla. Tesla right now is having to make decisions about different markets. In China, they've already solved this because there's electrical charging stations all over China. They were able to find someone to do that for them. In countries like Singapore, no one's prepared to do it. And what that has done to the Tesla electrical market is some people are hesitant to buy an electrical car. All right. So you need to be careful, Eugen. It's a very good example, and it's an example that I was going to mention. You came up with it before me, but you need to think of it. And if you're studying with us, you'll get one of your case studies for those of you who are doing postgraduate, and you'll be asked to analyze where Tesla is failing and how they can fix it. But Tesla is only one example. Tesla is only one example. There is many other examples out there, Eugen. Whether you go to the airline industry, post-COVID-19, discount travel has become more common. Why? Because during COVID-19, people learned to fly airlines, pay a lot of money, but the food was downgraded, the service was downgraded, and now they've started paying cheaper prices to discount airlines who are trying to capture the market, and they get the same food or limited service as they got through COVID-19. But when Eugen looks at it, if he's going to fly from his country to Singapore and he can pay $100 to a discount airline and still get the same sandwich and glass of orange juice and pay $900 to Singapore Airlines, of course Eugen is going to go with the discount airline. But then how long will that discount airline keep Eugen? He will be loyal to them as long as they provide him a quality sandwich and a quality glass of juice. The minute they fail to give him a quality sandwich, they will lose him immediately. And where will he go? He will go back to the airline he was loyal to, Singapore Airlines. And this is happening for the airline industry today. The airline industry has gone from being a service provider to being a cutthroat competitor in the market. There is now not only one airline in each country, there's probably one high-end airline and 20 discount airlines. Whether you look at Indonesia, the Philippines, India, I think in India alone, there's 5 discount airlines, as well as Air India and all the expensive airlines. So these are issues that businesses are facing all along by not understanding what their consumers want and not understanding that you can lose a customer in seconds. But getting a loyal customer or developing loyalty is based not just on you giving them the right price. They want the right product, they want the right quality, they want the right service, they want the right value for money, and brand loyalty is an asset to any company. Just customers that give you a good rating because they enjoyed your service today doesn't mean you have brand loyalty. The only time they become of a value or an asset to your business is when they become brand loyal and become repeat customers. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? I want to give you a simple example that I use in most of my sales lessons. I want to talk to all you ladies here. Ladies, when you go to a hairdressing salon, usually you go back to that salon because the stylist makes you look young and vibrant and sexy again. Otherwise, girls, you never step into that salon again. Am I right or wrong? Wave your hands if I'm right. Wave your hands. So what happens, ladies, is you want to go in there, looking like you are today, but when you step out of that salon, you want to look so beautiful that not only your current boyfriend, but 20 new boyfriends are going to be knocking on your door, right, girls? If you're not married and you have a boyfriend, the point is you don't want to look the same as you looked before you walked in. There has to be something that makes you look better. And if you don't get that, you're not going to go back there next time. It's a simple fact. So let me take that to food. If you go to a restaurant and you eat fried rice today, and the fried rice is just average, tomorrow you go to another fried rice stall, it's just average. There is nothing there that will get you to go back and become a loyal customer. And that's a fact. Does everybody understand what I'm saying now? Amal, do you understand? Amal, wave your hand, Amal. Good, excellent. Let me go back to my presentation. Quality in a service or product is not what you put into it. It is what the customer gets out of it. Let me focus on this. In order for you to be able to deliver something that the customer recognizes as value, okay, and considers to be the right level of service, you need to understand what that customer wants. And the only way you're going to understand that customer and be able to answer, okay, able to answer, it is what the customer gets out of it, is for you to become customer centric and stop avoiding the unavoidable by not becoming customer centric. There is a place in the world for any business that takes care of its customers after the sale. Again, this focuses on customer centricity. If you don't put yourself as a business owner in your customer's shoes, you will never understand the customer. That goes for your hairdressing salon. It goes for the hairstylist who does your hair. It goes to the shoe store where you buy shoes, and the sales assistant knowing what people of her age want. She has to understand that if Amal walks into the store to buy shoes, Amal likes different types of shoes than Amal's mother would buy at a shoe store. Am I right or wrong? Our attitude towards others determines their attitude towards us. So that means if you don't understand your customer and serve your customer based on what they expect of you, then you will not build loyalty. They will not come back. How you think about your customer will influence how much revenue you generate and how you respond to that customer. Does everybody understand what I mean by this statement? It all comes back to you understanding the thinking and the psychology inside your customer. It doesn't matter what you think the customer wants. You have to understand what they really want, not what you assume they want or not what you think they want. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses today fail because they think they know what the customer wants, but in reality, they only assume. Can anybody tell me what is the danger of assuming? What is the danger if you assume? Can anyone answer that question? Amira, can you answer that question? Open your microphone, young Amira. What's the danger of assuming, Amira? Open your microphone, young lady.
Yeah, the danger of assuming.
So if you assume too much, what will happen?
You expect that.
Okay, do you know what I mean by to assume, Amira? Assume is to base your decisions based on what you think, simply based on what you've seen or you've heard. That is to assume. To assume academically is to be an ass. To be an ass means you make decisions without analyzing them, okay? Any business that assumes will fail, because if a business becomes an ass, it means it's failed, right? You understand that, Amira?
Yeah, yes, sorry, I understand.
Right. So what's the difference between an assumption and a decision made on fact? Can you explain the difference?
The difference is that the based on fact is there is a based on fact example they get some samples from the survey results. So while the one based on assumption is based on what they think that is good, based on there is not just assumption like how you explain it.
All right, good, excellent. I think you understand my message, Amira. Remember, assume is to assume something based on what you hear or what you see. To make a decision based on fact is to do research and understand what your customer really wants. It's to talk to your customers. All right, thank you, Amira. Very good answer. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's go on. Let's talk to another person who put up their hand. I've got hands going up everywhere here. That's great. Okay, let's talk to Yen Wang Chuk. Can you put on your camera, sir? Go ahead. Go ahead, Yugen. Yes, Yugen, tell me.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon from.
Good afternoon, sir.
country
Go
Bhutan.
ahead.
Sir, as an Asian country, so I'm participating for the first time. So I want to really congratulate to all the participants. And then regarding this, your question. So see, right now I'm just inside the shop.
Yes.
So it's just coinciding. So our assumption in business is very danger. So firstly, what I mean to say is, so if I am a manufacturer, so I just assume myself that such commodity can be sell it out very fast, and then we don't know what is the really wants of our customer. So if we go on assuming, and then if we manufacture without proper study, then it is very risky for the business people.
Absolutely. And the result will end up in failure, and you'll find yourself out of business, because in the time it takes you to understand your customer and become centric, your competitor will take your customer base. Do you understand that, Yugen?
Thank you, sir.
I welcome you to Biztalk and look forward to seeing you on a regular basis. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on. Does anybody else want to add to that? Who else has put up their hand? Okay, let's talk to Victoria. Victoria Muna. Okay, go ahead, Victoria. Unmute your microphone, please. Unmute your microphone, please. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Can you hear me, sir? And the
Yes, I
rest?
can. Go ahead, Victoria.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Making assumptions, especially when it comes to business, sometimes it is helpful, but most of the time it is very damaging, and it leads to failures most of the time, because it is not based on facts, sir. So mostly it is like you're muddling in a dirty water when you make assumptions out of your business.
Very good. Very true, Victoria. Very true. And the result of assuming is failure. Okay.
Yeah.
To assume is to fail. Give you an example. When I was younger, I used to assume that wearing the same aftershave every day as my father used to wear was good. But when I went to university and all the girls said, you're wearing Old Spice, that's for old people, and nah, that's not attractive, I very quickly learned to buy more modern aftershave, you know, like Gucci or something, in order for me to be popular at university. So you are right. People sometimes assume. We assume that because our mother, father, brother, uncle, or the shop down the road are doing it, that it's correct. And that's where we fail. Thank you, Victoria. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on with today's lesson. How you think about your customer influences how you respond to them. So in order for you to be thinking the correct way about your customer, you must understand your customer. You must be centric. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt said that. Does anybody know who Theodore Roosevelt was? He was a former United States president. And he used this matrix or this ideology when he served the people of America, because he based his time in office on telling the people how much he cared about them. Now, a lot of people will argue he was successful or he wasn't, but the fact is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So let's go back to the hypothetical example I used before, ladies and gentlemen, of you ladies going to a hair salon. They don't care how many years you studied at hairdressing school. They don't care how many years you've been working in a salon. What they care about is how much you care and how good a job you do for me as a customer. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Yes or no? All right. So when you go to buy, how many of you here go to buy fresh fish or fresh meat? Does anybody shop at the market every day? Rosemary does. All right. When you go to buy fresh meat or fresh fish, you go to the fish shop and say to the fish shop, I want fish because I want to cook curry today. Give me the best fish for curry. Rosemary doesn't care how long you've been selling fish. She doesn't care how many years experience you've got. All she cares about is that you give her the best fish for curry, or you be honest with her and say, Rosemary, all the fish for curry sold out. I don't have anything good enough for curry. How about today you use the fish and fry it and serve it with some chili sauce and rice, but it's no good for curry. All right. But if Rosemary was just given any fish, Rosemary doesn't care, because the fish she was given is full of bones, and her parents and her family will complain, Mummy, I can't eat this curry. How can I eat fish? It's full of bones, Mummy. I don't want to eat this fish. Oh, it has a dirty smell. So Rosemary doesn't care. She doesn't care about how famous the fish shop is. She doesn't care how many years experience he has. She doesn't care about what he's wearing. What she cares about is that he's presentable, and he shows her that he cares by giving her the right fish and being honest to his customer. And if he doesn't know which fish is good for curry, he should ask her, Rosemary, which fish do you usually use? He should understand his customer before he sells her the wrong type of fish. Would you agree with that, Rosemary? Can you unmute your microphone? Unmute your microphone, Rosemary. Say hello. Hi, Rosemary. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to talk.
Do you agree about the fish man?
I
Do you agree?
really agree. Yeah, I agree.
Good on you,
I agree
Rosemary.
with that.
Hopefully tonight you're not cooking fish adobo or fish curry, but thank you. Thank you for answering my question. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's move on. So remember, what do I mean by being customer centric? I'm going to use another example for all you people here. Hermina, when you went to school, you wanted to be popular, right? Am I right, Hermina? Talk to me, Hermina. Unmute your microphone. Hi, Hermina.
Yes,
how are
sir.
you? When
Yes,
you
sir.
went
Good
to school,
afternoon.
when you went to school and were out with all your girlfriends, what was the main point you focused on? You wanted to be popular, right? You wanted to be the girls that won the heart of all the boys and all the teachers. Am I right? You wanted to be the center of attention. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. And can I ask you, when you wanted to be the center of attention, you worked very hard on that, right? All you girls talked about it every night. Should I wear this perfume? Should I wear this lipstick? Should I wear a white t-shirt for sports today or a pink t-shirt? Being the center of attention was your prime focus. Am I right, Hermina?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can I ask you, Hermina, when you translate that to a customer, do you understand why the customer has to be the center of focus for a business?
Yes, sir. Because as the saying goes, customers are always right. So we need to focus on what the customer wants, and we give them good service, so they will always come back to us.
Thank you, Hermina. I want to put a point up there, and I want you all to think about it before the next Biztalk, which will be module 2 of this same subject, that it's true to say that the customer typically is always right, okay? It is true to say that. However, as a business, we should realize that there is a point when the customer is not always right, but as far as the customer is concerned, they want to believe that they're always right. And you can't tell the customer that he's wrong. What you need to do is be able to actually please the customer without telling him he's wrong, but without doing something that's going to cause your business a loss. Do you understand the difference of what I mean by that, Hermina?
Yes, sir.
All right. So customers are always right. Customers are always right by their perspective. And when you understand the customer, you must understand that. And as a business, we need to understand that customers always want to believe that they're right. And as a business, as professionals, we need to be able to make them happy without telling them that they're wrong. Do you all understand that, ladies and gentlemen? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Come on, wake up. Everyone, I want to see your hands. Thank you. Cheryl, are you awake? Cheryl, are you asleep? Okay, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Lalram. Okay, let's go on with the lesson, guys. Okay, so remember, it's not the employer who pays the wages. Employers only handle the money. It's the customers who pays your salaries when you work for a company. It's the customers who pay the money for your company to be able to afford its staff. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Good, excellent. I'll give you a simple example. If a business doesn't have customers and generate money, it doesn't have money to pay its salaries. Customers will never love a company until the employees love it first. So if a company doesn't look after its employees, the employees will never look after the company, and the company will fail. But a lot of companies avoid the unavoidable. They fail to explore the unexplorable. All right. And for a lot of companies, asking your customer whether they're happy or not is something they never explore because they're afraid of the answer. If companies pay their staff low salaries, then of course the level of motivation their employees have at work will be low. And of course they will deliver a lower level of service to the customer. If you're not taking care of your customer, your competitor will. So if you're avoiding the unavoidable and you don't actually care about how many customers are running away by the day, you will end up with no customers because your competitor around the corner will very quickly grab them because your competitor will build his business based on your failures. A brand can no longer, a brand can and is no longer what we tell the customer it is. It is what the customers tell each other about our brand. Let me ask you a question about that. Who wants to answer my question? Put up your hands before I ask the question. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Who's got, oh, I got here. Amy, again, all your other girls are half asleep. You're not participating in my lesson. Let's talk to Rosalie. Rosalie Bonalis. Good afternoon, ma'am. Open your microphone, Rosalie. Hi, Rosalie.
Hello, good evening. Good
Rosalie,
evening,
do
everyone.
you understand what I mean by my last point? Are you there, Rosalie? Do you understand the last point? All right. So can you give me an example of a customer, a brand? Tell me about a brand that has a reputation and tell me how sometimes the customers run away because that brand doesn't honor its reputation. Can you give me an example?
Oh, well, the brand here in the Philippines that
go ahead.
Always the customer like is the bench. It is with the product of men's clothes, perfume, and ladies wear also.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great, excellent. That's an excellent example. So if the customer comes in and doesn't find the perfume or the quality that you're advertising, then you don't have a brand because the customer won't remember your brand. they'll only remember what they experienced and they'll tell their friends. So what will happen to your brand loyalty? You lose it. Does everybody understand that? Thank you, Rosalie. Do you understand that, Rosalie?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ugyen, hi, Ugyen, you want to add something to that point?
No, sir. I'm good. I just want to say, I want to give an example of, like Coke. Coke would be an example.
Yes.
Because just recently, Coke went down due to one of the football player, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he
Yes, that's right. Yes, absolutely.
downgraded Coke.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. But Coke has lost market share for another reason. Why has Coca-Cola lost market share? Can you tell me?
Due to its health.
It's
health related.
because they changed the recipe. They played with the sugar in the original Coca-Cola taste. They've come up with a new Coca-Cola, which is regular, but the fact is it doesn't taste the same because the amount of sugar affected the taste of the original drink. So Coca-Cola made a decision, instead of increasing the price to face the sugar tax that governments want to impose, they prefer to lose customers and lost scope of their market. So Coca-Cola is no longer the branded preferred cold drink to most teenagers because it no longer tastes the same, okay? And Coca-Cola has lost market share, but Coca-Cola is now in two minds. Do I add sugar back? Do I pay the tax and increase the price? Or do I just develop new drinks to try to capture the market back? Coca-Cola is in trouble. Coca-Cola is no longer the company they were 10 years ago. Do you understand that, Ugyen? Okay, how many of you here drink Coca-Cola? Put your hand up. Wave your hands if you drink Coca-Cola. That's all? No one else? Okay. Well, I used to be a Coca-holic. I used to drink 2 cans a day. Ever since they changed the recipe, I haven't had Coca-Cola in probably 3 years. They lost somebody who would spend $200 a month at the supermarket for Coca-Cola. I now spend $0 on Coca-Cola. Does everybody understand how customer loyalty can run? Yes or no? You understand that, Amma? Okay, good, excellent. Do you understand that, Rosalie? Wave your hand, Rosalie. Do you understand that, Cheryl Liwan? Wave your hand, Cheryl. Wake up, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. A brand is no longer what we tell the customer. It is what customers tell others it is, okay? So Coca-Cola is no longer the drink it was because its reputation for taste and quality is no longer what it was when it started. And people now talk about the taste they get, not what they were told it was in the past. And that goes for anyone. Some people say that Singapore Airlines is the world's best airline. It was, but many people flew Singapore Airlines during COVID and they lost that belief. So now they don't tell their friends, come fly the Singapore girl. They say to their friends, listen, if you want just an average airline, fly Singapore Airlines. If you want a really good airline, then try this other airline. Just because Singapore Airline promotes itself as a world airline and supposed to be one of the best airlines in the world, it doesn't mean that customers believe in that, because the airline has created what we call a credibility gap. Can you type that in the chat box for me, please, Amala? Credibility gap. Okay, 2 separate words, credibility gap. And what a credibility gap is when the customer is not getting what you promote in your brand, and that becomes a gap. And if you develop a credibility gap in your brand in the market, eventually you will lose loyal customers to your competitors. All right? Credibility gap. Okay, thank you, Amala. Okay, does everybody understand what I mean by that? Good stuff, excellent. Who is the person that is your actual customer? I want you to write these down or just remember them until you get the PowerPoint on Monday. Users, those who use your product or service are your customer. Payers, those who sponsor or pay for your product are your customers. Decision makers, those who decide about it are your customers. Influencers, those who go and tell their friends about their decision to buy your product or service. So if Amal goes to this new Korean hairdressing salon tomorrow and says to this new Korean hairstylist wearing a black t-shirt in his sexy body with black tight leather pants, I am sick of looking so old, make me look younger. If she actually gets the look that she likes, tomorrow she will tell 20 of her girlfriends. She will become the influencer for that business. But if Amal looks in the mirror after she visits that salon and she looks exactly the same, she will not tell anyone. All right, so does everybody understand the example about Amal that I just gave? Okay, good. Knowing and distinguishing the 4 categories is important, because whether you or the business want or not, you are dealing with customers. You are trying to sell a product or service, and all have different requirements that ask for different ways of convincing them to buy your service or your product. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Amal, do you understand the example that I just gave? Amal, do you understand, Amal? Good girl. Do you understand, Asia Bago? Do you understand my example? Thank you. Cheryl Liwan, do you understand my example? Thank you. Omar Bully, do you understand my example? Thank you. All right. Vilu, do you understand my example, Vilu? Wake up, Vilu. Do you understand my example, Mr. Vilu? Thank you, sir. Who else have I got here that's not paying attention? Pema, do you understand my example, Pema? Wave your hand, Pema. Thank you. All right, let's talk to Rochelle Kababi. Hi, Rochelle. How are you today, young lady?
Hey, good evening.
Do you understand my most recent example about brand and loyalty and about influencers who bring new customers? What do I mean by influencer? Can you explain to me what I mean?
For example, like what you said earlier, the lady went to the salon and then she was satisfied with the service and then the looks that she wants, and then she will tell it to 20 of her friends right after that. And through word of mouth, the business already gained another 20 customers.
Very good. Can I ask you, do you think that many businesses today forget about the influencer? Based on your experience, have you dealt with many businesses who don't seem to care about the influencer? Are you there? Hello? Okay, I think we've lost her. We'll come back to her. All right, let's go to another student. Do you understand what I said, Rochelle? Do you agree with me, Rochelle? Thank you, Rochelle. Let's go to another student. Let's go to Yakubali Muhammad. Hello, Mr. Yakubali. Can you switch on your mic, your camera, please, sir?
Yes, hello, sir.
Tell me, do you understand what I mean by influencer?
Yes, I a little bit understand where I'm trying to, because I was on the street because I understand a little bit.
Okay, do you understand what I say about influencer?
Yes, I understand about influence.
Thanks. Do you have any question, Yakubali? Do you want to ask me any questions?
Yes, my question is about the management exactly.
Yeah.
How can I manage? How can I manage the things for the management?
Yeah, but Yakubali, for you to be able to management, firstly you have to stop avoiding the unavoidable. First, you have to ask yourself, are we customer centric? Do we really know who our customers are? Do we have the right product? Is it correctly priced, or are we making assumptions? Once you answer that question, Yakubali, and once you understand your customer and put yourself in your customer's shoes, that's when you can manage it. You can't manage it until you identify it. And then you have to continuously ask the same question month after month. Because if you don't, your loyal customer base will not grow. You will have a lot of one-time satisfied customers. Satisfied customers do not build a brand. They only produce enough cash for you to pay this month's wages. Do you understand what I mean by that, Yakubali? I can't hear you, sir. You're muted. Can you unmute your microphone? I can't hear you, Yakubali. Your microphone is muted. Are you there, sir? Can you unmute your microphone?
It's
Do you
clear.
understand what I said?
It's clear right now.
Yes, go ahead. Do you understand what I said?
Yes, I understand what you are saying. To manage mean the thing is that I'm going to do with the customer like this.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let's
Yes,
go back to our lesson. Knowing and distinguishing your customer, or the categories of customers that we just explained, the categories of customers: users, payers, decision makers, and influencers. In order for you to distinguish these four categories, you must understand what each of them are and understand the impact of you being able to deliver your brand's promise. If you create a credibility gap, you will lose influencers, and you will probably lose two of the other parts of the package. So you will probably lose influencers. You will definitely lose decision makers if they stop believing in your brand due to a credibility gap. All right, let's go on. Sometimes these four categories are one of the same, but often they are different people, both in business to business and in business to consumer. Does everybody understand what I mean? Business to business, business to consumer. Business to business is where you sell your goods and services to another business. Business to consumer is where you sell your goods and services to the everyday consumer, housewife, schoolgirl, college girl, etc. Let's talk about business to business settings first. Users can be employees in production or service that use the equipment, software, or tools they buy from you. Payers are the owners or shareholders of the company whose money is being spent by the employees. Decision makers are the managers, the purchasers, or others with a buying responsibility to buy your services from a business to business perspective. Influencers are competitors, industry leaders, government, or other influencing the other categories, okay? So what do we mean by that? If one airline buys its fuel from Mobil and the airline starts telling its other airline competitors, oh, we buy from Mobil, we get good value, they become an influencer for you. Excuse me. All right, does everybody understand that? Let's look at it from a business to consumer perspective. Users can be a kid who wants a particular toy, a schoolgirl who wants a particular hairstyle to look like her friends, a mother who wants a dress to look like her next door neighbor, a young man who wants to look trendy so he can pick up a new girlfriend. Payers, often the parents who pay for the toy, the boyfriend who buys the engagement ring or the flowers or the handbag for the girlfriend he wants to one day marry, the decision makers, the parents, or the child who has to say yes to going to that hamburger stall or going into that toy shop, or for wanting to fly with that airline again. And of course, influencers. They are other kids who go and tell their friends, so their friends go and say to mommy and daddy, I want this. Influencers from YouTube, who see your product and then talk about it on YouTube. All of these factors are influences. Let's look at the facts. For every product or service that a business offers, it must keep these 4 categories in open view, open mind. And I don't mean keep it in view and review it every 6 months. No, you have to review each of them ongoing, every week, every month, every day, depending on your revenue and whether there is ups and downs or ping pong in your revenue. Yes, the business must offer something attractive to all 4 types of customers, not only to the influencers, but to all 4 categories. Fact, it will help if the business know which of them is most defining for what you offer. After all, that's the category to focus on. But if you are not customer-centric, you don't understand your customers' needs or your customers' wants, you will never be able to do this. You need to ask yourself, does the business know who the 4 types are for your company? If you don't know whether you have those 4 types of customers or which of them is the largest portion of your customer base, then you are avoiding the unavoidable. Which one is most important to satisfy and focus on? That will depend on which one plays the biggest part of your business revenue. Let's start in 4 different categories. Let's start with users. Users, everyone. Let's start with users. Let me just get my pointer out, please. Okay, let's start with users. Business to consumer. Okay, example, a kid who wants a particular toy. Business to business, employees in production or service that use the equipment, software, or tools that you're selling, because they will go and complain to their boss will go and complain to his friend who has a similar business not to buy your product. These are from a user perspective. Let's look at the payer perspective, From a business to business end, the owners or shareholders of the company who are going to pay for the product or service that is being purchased. From a business to consumer end, often the parents of the child who's buying the toy, the boyfriend who is paying for Amal's manicure or Amal's perfume or Amal's clothes, the girlfriend who is paying for Muhammad's new shirt because she wants to buy him a shirt that looks good. All of these are payers that can have an impact on whether that customer becomes brand loyal customer or just a once only satisfied customer. Let's go to the next quadrant. The decision makers. Who are the decision makers? Those who decide about it. Those who decide about it. From a business to consumer space, the parent of the child, the boyfriend of the girl that's buying the handbag for the girl, the child that the parents want to take on holidays and says, "Mummy, I'm scared to fly with that airline." All of these are decision makers. From a business to business perspective, the manager, the purchasing officer, or others who are involved in the decision that we need to buy a new machine or we need to buy this product or service. Let's talk about the big one where a lot of companies lose market share because they avoid the unavoidable factor by learning about influencers and meeting the needs of influencers. Those who influence the decision of whether to buy or not by the buyer or the customer. From a business to consumer, again, kids or other kids, Amal's girlfriend and Amal influencing other girls, or Rosemary influencing other people in her company that where she bought her dress is a great place to buy trendy dresses to wear to work. From a business to business perspective, ladies and gentlemen, it can be your competitors, industry leaders, or governments that tell you as your industry competitors, hey, Joe, we're both in the same business. And, you know, I've been buying from this supplier. I get my petrol for my machines or my kerosene 10 cents cheaper per liter. And the kerosene is of a higher quality. So that competitor becomes an influencer to others. All right. He's not a competitor doing the same business that you are. He's not your competitor. He's your customer's competitor. Okay, can everybody take a picture of this slide now? Everybody take a picture of this slide. Take a picture, please, until you get the PowerPoint. Come on, hurry up. I want to see everybody taking a picture or a screenshot. Have you taken a picture? Good stuff. Excellent. Okay. So in very simple terms, avoiding the unavoidable by avoiding being a customer-centric business or a customer-centric company, you are giving away business and you are turning away your share of the market. The customer is the most commonly unexplored part of the business value chain. If anybody wants to argue that or dispute that, I'm happy to give you figures from some of the world's biggest players. All right. The fact is, the customer is the most commonly important, or most importantly, common unexplored part of the business value chain. Okay, Mr. Amala, somebody has got arrows on my screen. Can you please remove the arrow, Amala? There is a brown arrow, please remove it. Thank you. Does everybody understand that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, good. Let's switch off the PowerPoint and let's talk about what we've learned. All right, what I want to go through now is I want you to start thinking about this, because the next Biztalk I present, Biztalk 63, will be lesson 2 in this series. Okay, so what we've learned today is the I-step to exploring the unexplored or the unexplorable. All right, it's the I-step to exploring or avoiding the unavoidable. Ladies and gentlemen, these are critical elements for you to think about as a growing business person or a person studying a diploma in business or a postgraduate diploma in business. These are fundamental issues that you guys need to learn and take with you, whether you're working for someone or whether you're starting your own business. These are basic key business disciplines and thoughts that you must master. Does everybody understand that? Could you wave your hand for me, please? I want to see everybody's hand, not only some people. Abdurrahman, do you understand? Okay, Amal, young lady, you're going to sleep on me. I need to see your hand. Amal, wake up. Okay, good. Valu, do you understand? Wave your hand, Valu. Thank you. Amy, do you understand? Thank you. Okay, who else have I got here? Roslyn, young lady, you've been sitting there paying a lot of attention. Do you understand that everything I've said, Roslyn? Good girl. Rosemary, do you understand, Rosemary? Rochelle, why are you scratching your head? That worries me. Do you understand, Rochelle? Good girl, Rochelle. Okay, good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, avoiding the unavoidable is being an ass, because what it means is you're assuming that you know when you don't know. To assume as a person is to be an ass. To assume as a business is to fail. They are facts, not academic facts, but actual industry facts. And I can give you many companies who have failed as a result. How many of you here have heard of Nokia? How many of you here know Nokia? Put up your hand. Nokia? Come on. Amala, your first phone was a Nokia, Amala. Am I right? Your first banana phone, cheap phone, was a Nokia. Why did Nokia fail? Why did Nokia fail? Because Nokia thought it knows what its customer wants. They used to make analog phones with black and white screens. Nokia refused to explore what the customer wants because they didn't want to learn about what they had failed to learn. They avoided the unavoidable because they were worried that what they might learn might mean they have to go back to the drawing board because they had not yet developed a product for that market. And they were too scared to look at that market. They were so stubborn that they tried to survive with their old age Nokia analog phone. What happened? Soon, iPhone came along. Samsung came along. Huawei came along. The BlackBerry came along. And what happened to Nokia some 12 years, 15 years ago? They lost. They went broke. They could not compete because they failed to listen to what the customer wants. They failed to understand that the good old basic banana-shaped phone was no longer what customers want. Customers don't care whether it was the shape of a banana. Customers wanted a smartphone. Nokia failed that. They lost the phone business. They basically completely shut down their phone business. After many years, they learned that they could not replace that revenue. They came back into the phone business, but this time they no longer relied on their own technology. They started copying technology of other smartphones, and now they no longer actually have their own phone manufactured. They have it manufactured for them by someone else with their brand on it. Nokia learned the hard way, and that happens for many brands, many brands. Do you all understand? By avoiding the unavoidable is the same as assuming and being an ass as an individual. So if a company or a business decides to avoid the unavoidable, they are being asses because they're assuming they know everything. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending Biztalk 62. I will see you at Biztalk 63. Am I right, Amala? Biztalk 63, week after next with lesson 2 in this series. But before we go to lesson 2, I need you all to make sure that you check your emails on Monday night. Everybody who has been in here for the full duration of today's Biztalk will receive my PowerPoint by email on Monday before they go to sleep. My colleague and my co-host, my boss, Mr. Amala, will put up the video for this Biztalk by Tuesday evening next week or Wednesday morning. You can play the video and watch my explanation. Once again, I leave you with some words of wisdom. To learn is to grow. To not learn and to think that you know everything is to remain a failure, whether you're working or not working, whether you're a child or an adult. Ladies and gentlemen, I have clocked 50 years old. I've just gone over that mark. I have been an academic for some 38 years of my life. I have been a motivator and a teacher for 38 years. I continue to learn. Every day, one of my academic colleagues in the world comes up with a new theory that I read about and learn from. For you as young students, every day you need to explore new ideas. Every night when you go to sleep, Rochelle, your brain should be thinking of what you're going to do tomorrow to make your job easier or to grow the business of the company you work for. If you go to sleep tonight and simply go back to work tomorrow, do the same job and get the salary, but bring no improvement to productivity or revenue, then you have failed. If you don't know how to do that and you're not prepared to sacrifice to learn from people like me, then you are a failure. And there is no question about that. Please do not live in a world of dreams. Do not let the unambiguous distort your mind. Steve Jobs went to Reed College. Reed College was one of the finest schools in the world. Steve Jobs dropped out of Reed College. He dropped out because he wanted to see the world. After he saw the world, he realized that what he didn't learn at Reed College, he had to learn the hard way. For some of you, you'll never go to Reed College. It's more expensive than Stanford. All right. So if Steve Jobs said that by learning was the door to stimulating his knowledge and making him hungry for more knowledge, then you can not go on saying, for the love of God, that I don't need to learn. You cannot forever, and for the love of God, keep saying that I can go to sleep tonight and not worry about my job. You can forever not go on saying that I think I know everything and I don't need to learn. You cannot forever go on and say, my boss only pays me a lousy $200 a month. Why should I worry about it? Because the simple fact is, if you don't worry about it, soon your boss will say, I can't afford to pay you $200 every month. I will find somebody who has a bigger brain and is more productive and more innovative than you, because they have studied, they have got an overseas diploma or postgraduate diploma, and they have an open mind, and they're thinking like the 22nd century business person or worker. The worker of the 1990s is gone. Your mother and father's type of going to work, coming home every day and forgetting about work is over. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Jobs built Apple from nothing. Steve Jobs was born to a poor family in the United States. His father used to be a salesman in an electronics shop. He used to sell Atari and TV games. Steve Jobs got the passion for electronics by repairing old electronic equipment that his father used to take out of the garbage bin after customers used to trade it in. Steve Jobs was not rich. Steve Jobs was poor like you. He couldn't afford to buy new shirts every day. His father was only a salesman. But Steve Jobs had one thing in his mind. He was hungry to learn. He was passionate to learn. Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands, come on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You will all receive today's material in your email before you go to sleep on Monday. When I see you in Biztalk 63, I will be testing you on what you learned in Biztalk 62. By Biztalk 63, I expect you to all have examples on what you've learned and how today's lesson has helped you or will help you in your job or your business. Ladies and gentlemen, from Wally Rauda here in Singapore, from my co-host, Mr. Amala, my boss here today, thank you for joining me for Biztalk 62. Please make sure you visit our Facebook. We are on Facebook and we are also on YouTube. Okay, so make sure you visit our social media. All right, we are on social media. My colleague has just put up our social media in the chat box. Please make sure you visit us on social media. Give me the thumbs up on YouTube. If you've really enjoyed my session, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, and leave a message, Wally, we enjoyed YouTube. We enjoyed your Biztalk, all right? Because I need to hear your voice. I need to make sure that you've learned something. I don't want you to like me just because I entertain you. I want you to respect me because you learned something from me. Does everybody understand that? Maylin, do you understand what I said? Maylin, I want you to focus, Maylin. I want you to focus on graduating, Maylin. So in 12 months' time, you have got a better job and earning 3 times the salary you're earning now. Is that what you want, Maylin? Wave your hand to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with one other statement. Please do not get offended by me. There's a lot of people who are working jobs that they would never have thought of working, whether it's domestic helpers, factory workers, cleaners, etc. There's no shame in doing a job to earn a living. This man used to clean toilets at McDonald's when he left home at 18, so I could earn $4 an hour to buy food whilst I got myself into university, which started 3 weeks later. All right, I clean toilets. I was born to a rich family with maids, servants, cooks, and drivers. but my father was stingy. He used to yell at me and call me silly every day for spending too much money. At the age of 18, I took my $40, the only $40 I had, got on a bus and traveled 12 hours away to another state to go to a university in Sydney. I had 3 weeks to find a job to pay my $400 dormitory fees every month to study. I found the job the same day. I arrived in Sydney at 5:30 in the morning. I had a job by 9 o'clock cleaning toilets at McDonald's. Do you think I was proud of cleaning toilets? Oh no. Do you think I cared about what my friends said? All my rich friends from Melbourne? Oh no. Was I ashamed? No. Why wasn't I ashamed? Because I had set my mind on becoming successful. Cleaning toilets was only a part of my journey to success, because after I did that and after I graduated, there was success at the end of the tunnel. You understand that? My first job after I graduated paid me a salary of 12,000 Australian dollars a month. Okay? I worked at McDonald's for 3 days cleaning toilets. The owner of the store saw me and told me I was too good to clean toilets. He told me he would make me a night shift manager, providing I passed a 5-day course at Hamburg University. I passed it and got the golden spatula. I was top of the class. Not because I knew how to cook, because I had the mindset to learn, and I was not going to let anything stop me from improving my education, right? I worked at McDonald's with a franchisee in Sydney at Bondi Junction for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, my boss and my second father, who looked after me for 3 years, said to me when I graduated, "Wally, you're fired. You're not fired as a friend, but you can no longer work at McDonald's. Because if you work at McDonald's, you will never move forward in life. You will never earn more than the $3,000 you earn now. You're fired today, go and find a job." I graduated on a Thursday. On Friday, I sent out over 200 applications online from my university dormitory. On Tuesday morning, I got a call from one of Australia's largest motor car insurance companies. They wanted me to attend an interview Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Did I say no? Oh my God, no. I rushed to Sydney Airport at 11:30 in the morning. I spent $200 on a one-way ticket back to Melbourne. I went to the interview in my grey suit and I got the job. My salary was 12,000 Australian dollars a month. Was that because they liked me as a person? Was that because I was a nice guy and I smiled? For the love of God, no. They employed me based on my eagerness and my education. Does everybody understand that? Please, I don't want to see tears. I don't want you to cry. I want you to realize that you are intelligent people. I want you to realize that the simple fact is that some of you are doing jobs which you have to do to support your families and children. But it doesn't mean you have to do those pathetic jobs all your life. It means that you have to get off your lazy bums, study harder, get a diploma or a postgraduate diploma, and let me guide you and help you to write your CV to get a better job. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be on fire. Do you understand what I mean by that? I want you to eat, sleep, and shit success. Do you understand what I mean that? Excuse my expression of the word SHIT, but I'm the type of person who speaks my mind. I want you to think of your success every time you go to the toilet. I want you to think of it every time you put food in your mouth. I want you to think of it every time you pray to God that you want to be successful. And I will do everything to make sure that I give you information and knowledge for you to do that. All right? From me to all of you here today, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you at Biztalk 63. I do remind you all that next week we have our leadership series with Mr. Benson Ma, and it's a great series. You need to learn about leadership because the majority of you here assume you have leadership qualities. None of you have the leadership qualities of the 22nd century. You need to learn what leadership qualities are today. I expect you all to attend the leadership session next week. All right. Don't be smart asses. Don't assume you know, because you don't know. And the reason you don't know is because no one's taught you. The reason you don't earn as much money as I do, or he does, or other successful people do, is because you're too lazy to learn. Get off your dumb asses, pull your fingers out of your dumb asses or mouths. Stop believing in failure. Start believing in knowledge. Get as much knowledge as you can so you can become successful. Thank you very much, everyone. I wish you all a good night. I love you all. God bless you all. See you next week. I'll see you at the next Biztalk week after.